The opinions expressed by the host and guest on this program are solely their own and do not represent the views or opinions of Blind United. We strive to provide diverse perspectives and discussions on our platform, but the opinions expressed should be understood as personal viewpoints and not reflective of Blind United as an organization.
It's time. It's time for
coffee time.
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 And here is your coffee time crew.
Monday morning, and welcome back to Coffee Time with Blind United. I am Ed, and I'm joined today with Brittany. Hey, Britt.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. It's coffee time.
That's right. So, we got Pedro's having a little technical difficulty, so it's me and Britt today. Maybe George might pop in a little later, hopefully. We'll see. But
Apple wants him to buy a new MacBook.
Well, they always want us to buy something new, right? But anyway, we do have one interest group for you today. Actually, it's Dominic's last group for the year. It's our support group tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So come on in, hang out with us. I forget, he gave me a topic. My bad. I don't remember it off the top of my head, and I realized I didn't even put it out in the reminder. So, but we'll work it all out. It's always interesting, always educational, enlightening. It always provokes thought, So, again, come on out and hang out with us at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And, hey, we always have like I said, I enjoy the group. I really do. It's always been a really, really good group that we've had.
That's successful. One of our most popular groups. We normally have like 10, like the most people come to that group, and Dominic's really good at what he does. He's good at delivering a topic. He's good at like just getting our minds thinking. And I know for me, I'm like, oh, wow, maybe that's the way that person sees that. Or like, it's just really helped me be a better person, I believe, personally.
Yeah. Me as well. He done got me to tone down a little bit, I guess, but anything that, help improve ourselves and make us better people is always a plus, right?
Yeah, I agree. That's what Blind United is all about. It's not just, let's improve our JAWS skills or our iPhone skills. It's let's improve our social skills or just the way we interact with people. It's all of it.
All of it. So, we had a pretty good weekend, I guess. We had a function we went to on Saturday. One of our interest group leaders, Trina Brown, she does our crafting, knitting, crocheting, jewelry making interest group. She's been with us from day one. So it was her birthday. So we all went out and celebrated. And let me show you how we get down, y'all. Out here in California. And I'm not saying everybody in there was Blind United, but bottom line, we hang with a circle of folks that we had 40 people in a restaurant. Again, it was, it was all right. We had fun. We enjoyed each other's company and stuff. Wasn't too happy with the restaurant itself. I'm not going to throw the name out there, but beware of these restaurants out there now, and they want to call themselves 5-star, got 5-star prices. And all that's good as long as everything in there is 5-star. But when your food and the service is 2-star, it gets, people become a little disgruntled. You know what I'm saying? They took orders in one way. They says, okay, well, we're taking orders this way because all the chairs have numbers on them, and that way we can keep track of who ordered what. Well, somebody else got my food. And then they brought me, I guess, maybe their food. But bottom line, I had to send it back because it ain't the food I ordered. So, and the fact that, like I said, it was a bit pricey. So, but You
I
know,
don't know what it is with these Mexican restaurants. I know in like California, and I've also heard in Florida, because my dad lives in Florida, that a lot of these Mexican restaurants are like, I don't know, really, really, really expensive now. And tacos and stuff used to be pretty like reasonably priced, but now it's like insane.
man, we had a spot out here, Britt, in Fontana, right? It was a little taco stand. I can't remember the name of the place now, but on Taco Tuesday, you go up there and get two hard shell tacos for $1.
No, I remember those days. There used to be a place that I would go to all the time, like as a kid, as a teenager, and it would be like Taco Tuesday, tacos for $1. But now tacos are like darn near as much as like, I don't even know, steak, lobster, shrimp. I don't know, but I guess you can. I don't know. I
I
just don't know.
mean, and trust and believe, it's not that I'm complaining about spending the money. I'm complaining about spending the money, and the food is not doesn't live up to the hype. You know what I'm saying? I
But
mean, if you're
I
gonna,
think you're paying for the ambiance, because that restaurant kind of reminded me of the restaurant that we went to for my birthday last year. And like there were, there's TVs everywhere. They got like the music, and they got like the scantily clad women. You know what I mean? The lady bringing you shots. I guess there was like a big screen TV in the bathroom. Like I think you're paying for the ambiance.
okay, well, I can't see none of that. I wouldn't know none of that unless you told me. So, I mean, I get it, but again, at least make my food taste like, good, make it be good enough to where, okay, you know what, it might be pricey, but it was good. I'll go back and get another one, right? But when the food is just average, and I wouldn't even consider that to be average. I think it was actually below average, in my opinion anyway.
No, no, no. I hear what you're saying. I mean, my food was whatever, honestly, and like $10 for a bowl of albondigas. Like what? Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But I just think it's the like that would be a cool place to hang out if you're in your 20s, and you're just like doing whatever. But me
Well,
being an old
and it
fart
was
bag,
not
no.
only 20s, I mean, visual, so you can see all of the exciting stuff they supposedly got going on, whatever. But, and then, I mean, not knowing how to interact with us, they're walking around and they're taking stuff off the table. If we, like with the one lady, that was in our party, she had a to go plate. She sat there, got her stuff ready to go with her, right? Because she didn't eat all her food. And next thing she know, it's gone. Well, they came through and snatched it from her, and us being, sightless,
No, no,
you know,
no. I agree. I agree, Ed. That's not cool. I think that the issue with going to restaurants that have never dealt with blind people is really frustrating. And then I think sometimes the language barrier too is like on top of that. And then the music was loud, so we really couldn't hear. So a lot of
right,
times the waiter would be standing in front of you, but you don't know because you can't see him or hear him,
right,
or
right. I mean, I get
whatever.
it. But even just the regular service, Britt, I mean, we sat down and there was a basket of chips in front of me, right? And
Yeah.
I believe me and Monica were eating out of that basket. When that basket got empty, ain't nobody replaced it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I
Uh,
want to say we only, which I think was very unfair, but I think we only had one waiter dealing with all 40 of us.
okay, but they knew we were coming.
No, no, no. I agree. And Monica, she said, "Good morning, happy Monday." And Monica also said that she agrees with you that the food was just okay and the service was horrible.
So, but anyway,
And the
I mean,
gratuity was horrible too, because I mean, they charge you tax and gratuity. Like, I thought, okay, well, I looked at the menu, I looked at the prices, I went on the website and I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to order. If I don't order that, I'm going to order this. This is how much it costs. And then I got there and realized, oh, fuck, I don't have enough money. You know what I mean? But anyway, like, yeah, it is what it is.
Well, I mean, again, I mean, my thing is that I just, y'all know I am definitely not a bougie person. So for me, you know, I don't do bougie stuff. And that's to me when you're going somewhere and you're paying 5-star prices and the food is what it was, then you're just there because of the ambiance. You're there for the bouginess of it. You know what I'm saying?
I
So,
mean, I definitely took pictures of my drinks and my food and put it on Instagram. I mean, if we're gonna be, I could be like, look at my
yeah,
margarita
well,
flight. That's the whole point. I think that these young people, I guess I'm included in that. We're a little weird. It's more like, oh, the ambiance. Oh, I went here. Oh, look at the background. Oh, look, I look cute in this picture. But yeah, Monica also said she agrees the music was way too loud. She couldn't hear Pedro, and Pedro was literally sitting right next to her. And yeah, like Ed was kind of sitting, you weren't sitting across from me, but you were like catty corner, like
right,
diagonally to me. And I could barely hear you. I felt like I was just like shouting at you. And I was just like,
right,
fuck.
right, right. I mean, I agree, but one of my favorite restaurants, all time favorite restaurant, has no ambiance at all, but the food is off the hook. The
What
food is
restaurant is that?
the pantry downtown.
Oh, okay. Maybe we need to go somewhere where who cares about the ambiance, but the food is the bomb.
Well,
It's crazy. It's always the places that you're just like, oh, there's nothing in here, like whatever. It's just a plain restaurant. But when you get your food, you know that it's good. I guess, some places focus on the food and some places focus on the ambiance.
well, ambiance is invisible to me, so so it is what it is. But I'm gonna go ahead and jump down here. Let me see. We can get into one of these articles before our break, and then we can move on. And okay, so excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm just
It's all good. It's Monday, guys. You guys gotta give us a little break. We had a long weekend. We had too many $5 shots.
yeah. Well, I had one, but it was all good. But anyway, so this first article is, as folks know, COVID is not gone away. So this first article is about COVID here in the United States. So let's give it a listen.
Today on Coffee Time, we're exploring the latest developments in the ongoing fight against COVID-19. Here's what's happening as of November 2024. 1. Emergence of new variants. A new variant, KP.3.1.1, is now the dominant strain in the United States. As part of the Omicron family, this variant has been responsible for 31% to 43% of cases reported since mid-August. Staying vigilant and informed is key as new variants emerge. 2. Updated vaccination guidance. Health officials are urging people aged 6 months and older to get the latest COVID-19 vaccine. The updated vaccines target current variants to reduce the risk of severe disease, especially for vulnerable groups like seniors, children, and those with weakened immune systems. 3. Mask mandates make a comeback. With winter approaching and respiratory illnesses surging, some states, including California and New York, have reinstated mask mandates in healthcare settings to protect staff and visitors. These measures aim to curb the spread during the high-risk season. 4. Long COVID remains a concern. For those dealing with prolonged symptoms, known as long COVID, recovery odds are highest within the first 6 months of infection. As attention grows on managing these lasting effects, support systems and medical research continue to evolve. The pandemic's challenges persist, but so do efforts to adapt and protect communities. How are you navigating the ongoing changes? Let us know in the comments. Now, back to the Coffee Time crew.
Get vaccinated, folks. That's all I can say. Get vaccinated, wash your hands. Wear a mask if you're sick, or stay home if you're sick, guys. It is not that serious. Don't get other people sick.
I mean, I agree. I agree. I mean, knock on wood. I feel blessed, lucky. It hasn't touched me personally. I mean, matter of fact, I'm being honest. I don't even know anybody that has personally died from it. But I do know there's been a lot of deaths, especially early on in this stuff. But again, you got to do what you got to do to protect yourself. I mean, listening to what it said there about, California and whatnot, re-implementing the mask mandate in the health facilities, I mean, it makes sense because that's where everybody's going to come to. But at the same time, I can't stand wearing a mask. I really cannot stand wearing a mask. But, uh, you know, but at the same time, I mean, I get it, So you got to go with the restrictions, whatever it is, and deal with it. I mean, again, COVID, I believe is going to be a while before it's per se totally eradicated. I don't know that it'll ever be eradicated. I mean, this might be like the flu, where we got to
I
get
think
something every year.
personally, me, in my opinion, I think it's just like the flu. I think every year or every whatever, we're just gonna have to get vaccinated for it, and it's just gonna keep mutating. Just like they said, it's different strands, and that strand's gonna turn into some other strand, kind of like the flu. I just think that COVID is here to stay, and it's our new normal.
Well, if that's the case, everybody might as well go on and get used to it, because if it's here to stay, that means, either you're going to get vaccinated or you aren't. You're not, and I mean, people talking about they worried about vaccinations and so on and so forth. I mean, again, come on, folks. If you went to school in America, you were getting vaccinations. You were required to get vaccinations in order to attend school. If you're in the military, you got to get any number of vaccinations when you get shipped overseas, depending on where you're going. If you're traveling out of the country, going to some of these third world countries, you got to do a whole list of vaccinations before you can travel, So I don't see what the big thing is about getting vaccinated. I really don't,
I
So
mean, people are saying, oh, the vaccines have, I don't know, especially the COVID one, it came out too fast, or, oh, it has a microchip in it, or even, oh, these vaccines, they cause autism. We have more autistic kids than we did, back in the 70s or whatever.
well, how you gonna
So,
blame the COVID vaccine for the autism when COVID just was
well, not
used?
just the COVID vaccine, but just vaccines in general. I've heard that people think that they cause autism.
Well, and I'm not gonna sit here and argue because I don't know, right? But again, the point being, we've been getting vaccinations all our life. I mean, unless you just one of them straight ones and you don't do it at all. I mean, I don't even know if you can check your kid into a private school without vaccinations in America. I don't know. I mean, because all my kids went to public school. I went to public school,
I know
whatever.
with public schools, you cannot, you have to be vaccinated. And I know with my mom, she's worked on and off in daycare, Head Start, and those kids have to be vaccinated. If they're not, they can get in a lot of trouble for that. So, I mean, letting a kid in that's not vaccinated can cause a lot of issues.
Right,
you know.
right. So, again, I mean, myself personally, like I said, I don't see the big deal in it, but, to each his own. Everybody got their opinion, everybody got their beliefs, whatever. So I'm going to let it roll with that. If that's the way they want to roll, then let them roll. All
But
I
my
can tell
whole
you,
thing is like, okay, what about like polio and all these other things that were eradicated, like, or what's that other one, mumps or measles, I mean,
measles, I think it's measles, mumps, and chicken pox. I mean, not that you can't still get them, but they're very, very rare now in comparison to where they were before they started the vaccination. But then again, these are the same vaccinations that people are claiming is causing autism and stuff, you know. So, I mean, I don't know. I know Jerry Lewis, he was a big advocate of, the polio thing that, his telethon he used to do every year. He was raising millions of dollars for, the March of Dimes and, and fighting against polio, for children and stuff like that. So, and again, back then, I remember seeing a lot of kids with polio, when I was younger. You don't see them kids no more like that. You know what I'm saying? So
maybe that's why people aren't getting vaccinated because, in my lifetime, I don't think I've met or seen anybody with polio. Like, I've heard my grandfather, talk about it, but I've never, you know what I mean? So maybe a lot of people my age are like, oh, I'm not vaccinating my children because they don't know the effects of it. They don't know, like, oh, people lived in iron lungs, or whatever. Like, they just don't understand how devastating that disease was.
Well, I mean, a lot of different stuff out there. I mean, we was talking about this yesterday, and again, people say, well, what about the Black Plague? Okay, well, when the Black Plague hit, all that stuff, we didn't have the science and technology that we have now. I mean, they were still struggling trying to figure that kind of stuff out. I mean, we're in a different time now, there's a lot more experience and studies and all that other kind of stuff to go along with that, right? I hate to go here, but some stuff that went on that made COVID do what, get out of hand the way it did is during the previous administration, Obama, he had set up a thing to kind of get in there early, if you will, because of the Ebola virus, right, that we had coming out of Vegas, right? I mean, not Vegas, but Africa, right? And so anyway, we had people on the ground in China, okay? It wasn't Obama's lab, but because of the agreement, we allowed we had people that were allowed to be there and they were watching all of this kind of stuff, right? Well, one of the first things that 45 did was eliminate that, right? Then what, well, no, it was a little over a year later, whatever, toward 18, 19 or whatever, when COVID first started coming out. Okay. Well, we could have been ahead of it if he'd have left all that stuff in place. But because he didn't want to do all that.
That's the thing that scares me personally about him being president again is that, he got rid of a lot of this stuff and he's planning on getting rid of a lot of things now, and I don't want to have another pandemic, or I don't, the people that he's appointing to these different jobs, they don't know what the heck they're doing. And that's just really, really scary to me personally. But hey, I guess we shouldn't be talking about that.
Well, I know George is in here now and he's probably sitting there drooling, wanting to jump in on this. So what you got, brother? You can't unmute yourself? What's wrong?
It's the second unlabeled button if you're on your phone.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, you can.
Man, Miss Britt, this iOS thing was well, anyways, when I first heard that word ambiance, I was with my aunt, we're at some restaurant. She's like, oh, I like the ambiance. I'm like, what kind of dish is that? Is that fish or is that steak? What the hell is that? But, well, anyways, it's funny that you mentioned about Mr. Davis, about, all the other extra stuff and the food is crap, where, like you said, Ms. Britt, you go to a wall, a hole in the wall, man, they have the best food in the world. You know what I'm talking about? That's sometimes you just pay for what's in the exterior, right? The big TVs and all that, all that jazz. But going to this COVID thing or the the lack of. Well, if you saw this new, did you see the new variant? The now it's going to the numbers now. Remember before it
Yeah.
was like now it had like 3.1.1.2. I'm like, what is this like an iOS update? What the hell is that about? You know?
I mean, I get it, but again, it's just the way it keeps mutating. That's basically what it is. So,
Well, talking, and like Britt said, don't really want to go into politics, but the thing we have to be knowledgeable of is, especially people with disabilities, our demographic is really impacted by pandemics and viruses, and so we have to be aware of that. I know we don't want to talk about politics, but just be vigilant that it's still out there. Me, my OCD. I'm wipe my hands, and when I come home, I wipe my phone down. I know I'm kind of extreme, but the thing is,
well,
it's
I mean, you call it extreme if you want, George. I mean, right here on my desk, I got a big old thing of Clorox wipes. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
I mean, I wipe stuff down as well. I do carry, hand sanitizer, stuff like that. But for me, the most important thing I do, I go get vaccinated. I
Yes.
go get every time they tell me I'm eligible for the next shot. Man, hook me up. When can I get it? You got it with you? Let's do that right now. I'm ready. I
And
don't
see,
care.
and how about you, Britt? Are you big on vaccines or?
No, I got vaccinated for COVID. I get vaccinated for the flu. I carry my hand sanitizer in my purse. I try my best to do what I can to prevent myself from getting sick, but that's all we can do. I mean, I have a question for all of you guys. Since the pandemic, since 2020, do you feel like as a blind person traveling, it's harder to travel because of COVID? If that even really made sense.
Yes. Well, I'll go let you go first, Mr. Davis.
Well, I mean, myself personally, I haven't traveled since COVID. I'm being honest. I mean, hopefully I was supposed. Remember, I was supposed to travel earlier this year, but because of a totally different health condition, I had to postpone that trip. But I mean, I don't know. I can't really speak on it because I haven't traveled.
Well, to me, you're right. I'm not traveling, but going outside, going to the store or restaurants or library. For me, it's just because people tend to forget that we see with our hands, right? So we're touching this doorknob, or we're touching this sign, or we're touching this bathroom, where it says men and women. So I just think that going back to what I said earlier, we have to be more vigilant, wash our hands more, not put our hands in their mouth or poke our nose. Or that's just me. But the thing is, we just gotta be careful with that. Can we see with our hands? And like we go to the grocery store, right? We're looking around with our hands, and God knows how many people have touched that, or the
Mm,
counter just
check
stuff like
out.
that. Yeah, I think it's just harder for us because we
And
use our
then
hands
some
to.
stuff they just kind of force you to, or like the was it the checkout little thing right there
Oh
at
yeah,
the
the little machine. Yeah, yeah.
you got to swipe your card, then you got to reach up there and touch them buttons that everybody else's user card has touched.
Eh,
So
or you have the sign. They tell you, oh, go ahead and sign the screen. I'm like, oh Lord, have mercy. Like when they went to go vote, how many people had touched the site, this little digital thing.
right,
So
right, right, right. So well, welcome, Pedro.
Hey, what up, guys?
Made it in.
Y'all
So
able to hear me?
yeah, we
no,
hear
I
you
can't hear
loud and
you.
clear.
Okay,
Not really.
okay.
So anyway,
Um,
So
I have a question, Mr. Davis. Earlier, I was running a little late because we had a little issue here. But uh, you said something that you're not boozy or you don't like boobies or what did you say earlier?
I'm not bougie.
Oh, bougie. Okay, yeah, yeah, I can see that. And you're right. Going to some places, like for example, like you said about the bill, and like I said, there is a place here in El Paso called Cafe Centro. A burger, fries is like $35. I'm like,
But again, and don't get me wrong, I don't mind paying $35 for a burger as long as it's worth the price.
yes,
You can't
yes,
charge me 5-star prices and then give me 2-star food.
And there's this place out here, gentlemen. When you guys come out, hopefully, it's called Cattleman's. It's way out there by Fabian. It's like, poof, like 20 miles into the desert. They actually filmed a movie there with Meg Ryan and Denzel Washington, some war movie, and they still have the props out there. But anyways, it's a cattleman's place. But man, the steak, even the rice pilaf. I mean, just when you go out there, you're gonna spend money, but it's worth it because the food is great, right? And think about this: it's out there in the boonies, but yet people still travel out there because the food is good, right?
And that's my point. If the food is good, okay, but if the food is just average, right? Then it doesn't warrant the price tag. I mean, for me, anyway, okay, like you said, this restaurant, the restaurant where we went last year for Britt's birthday, whatever, they got all. I mean, the one we went to last year. I mean, it literally, when you're sitting in the restaurant, it made you. From my daughter and the folks that were cited there, right? They said, well, it gives you the impression that you're sitting under a lemon tree.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
they literally had lemons hanging from the ceiling.
What?
Yeah, it was painted like like a tree, like you're under the covering of a tree, and even the tables were made out of slices of trees.
Wow. Okay, that's
Okay,
different. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it was really. I mean, again, come on, man.
Well, one time me and Lulu, this is years ago, we had gone to a new restaurant here in downtown area. We sit down, we ask for water, and they give us water in a champagne cup. And I told my wife, "Oh crap!" She's like, "What? It's expensive here." How do you know?
Uh,
Trust me. They give you water in
well,
this kind of cup, a
well, no,
glass,
it wasn't a champagne cup, George. It was a water goblet.
or whatever it is. To me, is
Uh,
when I saw that, I saw money. I'm like, "Oh crap!"
hey, well, let's Pedro, you good? We can go to get these commercials and stuff out the way right quick, and then we can move on to the other articles.
All right. Okay.
If you'd like to know more about Blind United, you can visit our website at blindunited.org. You can email us at info@blindunited.org. You can call us at 909-846-8825. You can follow us on Instagram at Blind United Interest Groups. You can follow us on X at Blind United 22. You can watch our YouTube channel, Blind United. You could join our Facebook group, Blind United Interest Groups, or you can follow our Facebook page, Blind United. You can go to customcane.com. That's custom with a K, guys. And what Custom Cane does is they sell cane and cane accessories. It's like Burger King. You can have it your way. You can get a pink cane, a blue cane, a rainbow cane, a Broncos cane, a Chargers cane, a cane with the Braille alphabet, a cane with your name on it. Whatever you want, whatever type of handle you want, whatever type of tip you want. If you want an aircraft aluminum cane, if you want an all-terrain cane, telescoping cane, any type of cane, Custom Cane has it.
All right. Just so everybody knows that Jimmy, CustomCane.com, he also has a nonprofit which is called You Can Give Initiative, and all the proceeds from Custom Cane go into You Can Give, where they do everything they can to make sure people in third world countries where they can't get canes can get a cane. So any way you support would help out. So
Yep. And Life Coach D said, good morning. Life Coach D also said that you should take multivitamins and zinc and vitamin C to prevent COVID. He also said that he's worked with kids for 30 years and he washes his hands and does all that good stuff. And Life Coach D also said that he travels once a year and traveling really hasn't changed much for him as a blind person.
Right. Well, I mean, and again, I mean, when you bring it back around to what you were saying, moving out around in the cities, in the streets, whatever, I mean, I don't have any problem with it. I don't see a whole lot of difference in it than than it was before.
I mean,
The
I
grateful
feel like
part for
people
me,
are less likely to help you. Like, I noticed, like, for instance, when the pandemic first started and they had like the little markers when you'd be standing in line, and if you got too close or if the line moved and you didn't see that the line moved, people would get kind of agitated, but then they don't really want to touch you. Or I know for me, like, just this weekend the people didn't want us in their car in the front seat, and I don't know if it's because COVID numbers have gotten worse and people are scared. So I mean, for me as a blind person, things like that have made it more difficult to travel.
well,
Yeah,
and
yeah. They also a lot of perks has gone away if you think about it. Like in some resorts, even like the when you get the breakfast, they cut back on that. They cut back on a lot of stuff. Even giving you like when you go to some stores and they have a little here, taste this. Some of that has been cut back too.
well, yeah. I mean, in certain instances, I mean, again, last time I was at Costco, I mean, there was still plenty of folks out there passing out samples. I'm not sure. I think there was some also at Sam's Club.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But again, I mean, again, for me, I don't see COVID now. I mean, again, we played the article, we got the stats on it. We know that now back in California, New York, big cities, whatever, they're re-implementing the mask mandate within health facilities. For again, am I happy about having to wear a mask when I go to the doctor? No, but it makes sense because where do the sick people go? Right? They
Yeah,
go
it's
to
like
the
when they go to the
doctor.
hospital, right? We go to the
Yeah.
hospital, we wear the mask because God knows what else is in. Real quick, guys, when last year, when we were in that little car accident, or a year and a half ago, whenever it was, and I went with my wife to the emergency room, and she was in the bed, and I was sitting next to her, and my cousin came up, and he was, he's a police officer, so we're sitting there talking, and the client, the patient next to us, man, he was coughing up a storm. And my cousin steps up to me, and goes, "Hey, bro, you have a mask?" I'm like, "No, I have an extra mask." He was like, "Okay, I'll be right back." So he went and got a mask, and he gave one to my wife. But when you're in that kind of environment, even me, I mean, yeah, granted, I have OCD, but when I go to the hospital or doctors, I always wear a mask because that's where everyone goes that's sick, right?
Well, I hear you. I hear you. But again, we got to do what we got to do to protect ourselves. I mean, again, my thoughts are that I mean, once you get the vaccine, then you're protected.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the reason for wearing a mask is if you have COVID, you're not spreading it. I mean, they're not worried about if you're vaccinated, it doesn't matter. You're good. You're covered. You're protected, right?
Well, I have a question from our conspiracy expert.
Mm.
So ever since my aunt got COVID, what, 2 years ago, and ever since then she's had heart issues. So we've had discussion within the family. Was it COVID or was it the vaccine?
No,
What
Mm.
it's the long. I don't know if you heard the end of the article or not, George, but it has to do with the long term effects of COVID, what they call in COVID long,
Yeah, the
right?
long COVID. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the long COVID. I mean, I believe that's what it has to do with.
No, I hear that, but I'm saying, when people start saying, you know, and matter of fact, the, I mentioned him before. That scientist, he's like a celebrity scientist, um,
Tyson.
Tyson. They were talking to he was they were talking about the vaccine, and remember that cornerback from the Bills that had a heart attack on the field and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
and they were saying, "Oh, see, the vaccine." And he's like, "Wait a minute, guys, think about this." He goes, "For almost 2 years, 2.5 years, people, what do? They stayed at home. They couldn't really go anywhere. So what do you do when you stay at home? You eat, you sit, you really don't move around. So you don't think that contributes to your heart, deteriorating, or your heart issues, or disease?
Well,
So we
yeah,
just, we just
yeah.
can't say, oh, it's the vaccine."
I mean, myself personally, I mean, I know I picked up 30 pounds or more, during COVID. You know, sitting here, not going out, not doing nothing but sitting in front of my computer all day long, and like you say, eating and whatnot. So, I mean, at least that's why I'm trying to get out now and do a lot more out. You know, move around a lot more and try to walk some of this stuff off because I'm not going to the gym. So,
But
if
you have to admit, I mean, I hate to put this in a jokey manner, but you have to admit that COVID made it real convenient for lazy people. They have curbside this and curbside Walmart and curbside IHOP and curbside everything. You know, should go in my car and just get some food and go home.
Well, the major top 5 companies made the most money in COVID when we was on lockdown.
yeah,
Because of the mismanaging of COVID, we had several thousands of businesses, small businesses closed that are
Sure.
not coming back for the
Sure.
mishandle of COVID, and it's what some people call a redistribution of wealth.
yeah.
No, gotta agree with you there. You're right.
Okay. Well,
You're right.
actually, that to me is a great transition into the other article about the stock market.
Let's dive into how the U.S. stock market has reacted to the recent presidential election and what it means for investors. 1. A record-setting rally. Following the election, the stock market soared, with the S&P 500 surpassing 6,000 points for the first time and the Nasdaq reaching new highs. Optimism surrounding President-elect Donald Trump's pro-growth policies, including potential tax cuts and deregulation, fueled this rally. 2. Volatility takes center stage. The initial surge was followed by market fluctuations. Concerns about inflation and the implementation of proposed policies led to a 2% drop in the S&P 500, erasing over half the post-election gains. Rising bond yields, driven by expectations of fewer Federal Reserve rate cuts, added to the turbulence. 3. Mixed investor sentiment. While some investors remain bullish about the new administration's economic approach, others are wary of inflationary pressures and market instability. Sentiment surveys reflect this mix of optimism and caution, mirroring the uncertainty of the current economic landscape. 4. Sector winners and losers. Technology and manufacturing stocks, along with cryptocurrencies, have performed well, buoyed by favorable policy expectations. In contrast, healthcare and government contracting sectors face challenges due to regulatory uncertainties. The stock market is riding a wave of optimism tempered by caution. What's your perspective on these shifts? Share your thoughts below. Now, back to the coffee time crew.
So, I mean, it ain't doing as bad as I actually thought it was doing, but I just want to make one point in there. The only thing that's inflated is prices. I mean, we're not we're not dealing with an inflation right now. I mean, we got more jobs than we had before COVID. I mean, all the jobs that were lost during COVID were replaced, plus more jobs. So, I mean, again, inflation is gone, but it's just corporate America hasn't lowered their prices. Inflation is not a thing. I mean, they keep saying it because that's their way of justifying the high prices and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, you're right. It's the managing class that is keeping these prices up, and if you see that the Fed has brought down the rate of inflation has gone down, but there is reports I read out there that these companies are charging higher prices because they could blame it on inflation, and that's 40 to 50%, almost 60%, and some other um polls, not polls, but studies that they've done. So it's there that the stores know that there is no guidelines, there is no rules, and all that. And the upper runner that was running in this last election, she wanted to set some guidelines. She wanted to prevent from let's say a carton of eggs being, let's say a 12 pack for let's say $2. She didn't want she wanted to set guidelines that price can't double and go 100%, 200%, or even up 300%. You know,
No, I
but
agree.
but even on Friday with the stock market closed, yes, there is companies saying it's gonna be up because of the what's getting bought right now, because of the expectation of what's happening with the upcoming administration is coming in with these tariffs. So there is companies that are buying, and the more buying happens, the higher the stock market is. But they're buying now, and they're saying they're not predicting of hiring new folks. Some companies are predicting laying off folks, and we're already starting to hear companies saying that they don't see themselves hiring for the next upcoming season or the next upcoming year because they are stacking up product.
Hey,
Well,
Joe.
yeah. On that note, I'm sorry, George. I'm gonna jump this and you can have it. I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and they were saying that some folks they know that work at this company or whatever, right? They already done sent them notices. You won't be getting a Christmas bonus because we're taking all of our pennies and we're trying to buy more inventory before he takes office and they impose these tariffs.
And that's across the board right there. Go ahead, George.
Well, I'm gonna say just the other day we went to a local convenience store and we bought a 12 pack of Cokes, and I'm not sure because it was in the convenience store, and I don't know, compared to there in California, a 12 pack of Coke it was almost $11. I'm like, what the hell? I remember when that was like $4, $6, $7, $8, but $11 for
Hmm.
Coke. I'm like, wow. We just ended up buying the 3 liter. But I mean, just the basic stuff, right? Like you said, milk, bread. I remember one time the eggs were like what, $8 a dozen at one point. But it's
Hmm.
just, you know, I guess that's one of the reasons why they voted the way they voted, because they said economics, was one of the driving forces to vote one way than the other. And we won't go into that too much, but and it's even about the stock market. You know, people must remember when news hits the stock market, it's like a ripple effect, right? It has that the stock market. Wait a minute. We might have those tariffs coming in, and people don't realize that those could come back and bite us in the rear,
Oh,
right?
they
Because
will.
They will because the way they work across the board, companies already saying, people on social media complaining that they're not getting a Christmas bonus, and it's the same factor that Ed just mentioned. The reason why, and the reason why companies are slowing down on hiring or even laying off people that are they were thinking of keeping, even for these seasonal jobs. Sometimes they keep people, but no, they're laying off. I know in LA they just sent a notice to 500 workers from a company that is laying off 500 people.
Yeah,
and it's
because
amazing.
again,
It's amazing. These same companies, they pay their CEOs in the millions, right?
Hmm.
It's just kind of ironic, right, or hypocritical.
oh,
We
that,
can't pay you
that,
this, but we could pay our CEO $8 million a year.
yeah. How about you skip your bonuses for a year and we buy inventory with that? How about that part?
Exactly.
Yeah, yes, but they won't. They won't. And the thing is, yes, when a CEO is making 3,000 times more on a bonus than the average worker in his company, and he's sitting in his fancy office and doesn't think about the people in the bottom that are pushing and hustling and bustling to make their company go.
You're right.
Right.
You're right, Pedro. You're right.
You know.
So, and I see the interest about, oh yeah, our economy. Just not to stay too much on that subject, I can see when the billionaire class would like that, would like to get less regulations or get some of these policies that this upcoming administration wants. But to the average folk, it's the way we need to think. What is this happening for the average folk? And I don't see nothing coming for us. I just see some hardship, expensive items, electronics.
Well,
So
as long as it didn't affect the donut industry, I'm good. Once it does that, then that's it. I'm moving to another country. That's it.
Okay. Well, I mean, as long as your donut company don't start importing flour and stuff like that and sugar and all that stuff, you'll be okay.
But
So,
it's all joking aside. It's sad that that some
no, but I,
people have to really think about do I buy food or do I pay the light? Do I buy food? Do I pay the rent? And that, that's sad when you have to put a single mother in that position.
Yeah, well, I shop for my family, and I'm always on a budget, and I'm always looking at prices. Even when I go to restaurants, I know some people are like, "Oh man, why you asking?" Hey, I need to be informed. I need to know. I need to know if this is fair charge or not. Like I can't just grab things and be like, "Here, boom, 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 put all this." I need to know. I'm calculating and stuff, and even when it comes to like even restaurants, sometimes they're like, "Why are you asking the price?" When I ask the waitress, and some people are like, "Oh, that's kind of like ghetto," and it shows you don't have money. But in the same coin, is I'm being cautious, I'm being informative, and I'm informing myself so I won't get screwed in the back end.
Pedro, I do the same thing, Pedro. I go, how much is your burger, cheeseburger, whatever? And they say, oh, it's, $18. I'm like, okay. So that's not, you're just being conscious of the price, and, you want to see, or you want to hear what the price is. I don't think that's bad. I do that myself, actually.
Well, and we're blind. We can't necessarily just pick up the menu and see what stuff costs, so it makes sense, so.
Yeah.
But anyway, what y'all want to do? We got one more article. We got just enough time to get that in here before we bounce out.
Yes, and guys, the holiday season's coming, Cyber Monday's coming, even Black Friday, guys. And what are the hottest gifts? Let's take a listen.
It's the season of giving, and we're sharing some of the hottest gift ideas for 2024. Let's explore what's trending. 1. Fashion and accessories. The Coach quilted tabby shoulder bag is making waves as a must-have for fashion lovers. Majuri's diamond letter charm adds a personal and elegant touch to any jewelry collection. 2. Beauty and personal care. The Dyson Airwrap remains a top pick for beauty enthusiasts, offering versatile styling options with minimal heat damage. Hailey Bieber's Rhode Peptide Lip Treatment has gained attention as an affordable and hydrating beauty product. 3. Technology and gadgets. Apple AirPods Pro continue to be a fan favorite for their noise cancellation and high-quality sound. For gamers, the nostalgic Nintendo Sound Clock Alarmo is a unique and functional gift option. 4. Home and lifestyle. Cozy Earth long-sleeve pajamas are a perfect blend of comfort and style for the season. Yankee Candle's balsam and cedar large jar candle brings the holiday spirit into any home. These trending gifts cater to a variety of interests, making holiday shopping a breeze. Which ones are on your wish list this year? Let us know in the comments. Now, back to the coffee time crew.
Well, I mean, I pulled it up just so maybe it might spark something in somebody about some ideas, maybe even me, because I ain't doing all that. Everybody get a gift card. Go get what you want to get. I'm sorry. But at least you're getting something, right? So,
Some people go into debt buying Christmas gifts. I never understood that either.
Well, I mean, there's been, studies, and some people go so far into debt for Christmas it takes them the rest of the year to pay off for Christmas.
Exactly.
And then Christmas comes around again and they do it all over again. It's just, it's a cycle for them. No, like I said, I'll send everybody, a gift card. Everybody gets the same amount of money, the whole hookup, right? I mean, hey, hopefully you can get what you want for this gift card. If not, at least you got a couple bucks on what you want. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you put 2 gift cards together and get what you want. I don't know, but this is how much I'm spending, and do what you do, so
I'm not,
that's just me.
For many years. Oh, go ahead, Pedro. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, George. I didn't say nothing.
Oh, I thought you said. I'm going to say that for me, honestly, guys, I don't. Me and Lulu, even when we first met, our thing is we don't want gifts. We just want to make sure everybody's okay in our family and friends. I'm good with that. Like you said, Mr. Davis. If I really want something, I'll get it. If it's pajamas or whatever. But you know what? I'm not that type of person to give out gifts or expect gifts. It's just, hey, as long as you're good, you're healthy, So once you start losing family members and friends, you're like, you know what? Especially me, I guess, because my personal thing with my mom, I lost her around Christmas time, or she went into the ICU around Christmas time. So I kind of lost that kind of glee in my eye for Christmas. So
Right.
that's just me. So, man, as long as my friends and Friends and
But
family are
but
good.
but
I'm good.
but guys, I know they talked about candles right there, and KFC is coming out with some scented candles. They got chicken flavored candles, chicken scented candles,
Yeah.
butter biscuit scented candles. Would buy that for somebody?
Well, I
I don't
seen
know
one
about
the other
that.
day. Also, they got pickle flavored toothpaste.
Really?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yep.
I mean, again, I mean, certain things like that. Okay, whatever. I mean, why would I want some KFC smelling candles? I mean, why do I
That's
want
nasty,
my
in my
house?
opinion.
I mean, I don't want my house smelling like fried chicken all day, every day. I mean, when I smell fried chicken, I want to go in the kitchen and get a piece.
I could tell you
Exactly.
what happened. The marketing team up there, they were like, hey, let's make these candles. Let's make these candles, have them smell it. And then they get hungry and go get KFC.
There you go. Yeah. You know what? Funny you said that, Pedro. When I was in the BT program, you ever heard of Otis Spunkmeyer?
No.
They have a line of muffins or cookies and muffins, and they have like blueberry and well, anyway, when I was in the BT program, the sales rep, he goes, I'm gonna give you an oven. You buy the cookies, we'll give you the oven. You throw a sheet of the sheet, and you throw the cookies in there. He goes, but the trick is, he told me, cook it when the people start coming in from break. You'll see. I'm like, okay. So I started
Hmm.
sure enough, I make the cookies when people walking in, and they're like, what's that smell? I'm like, oh, there's cookies. Hey, can I have one? Or can I have two? I'm like, oh, shoot, that worked, man. Just smelling it,
Well,
you know?
it's the same trick that the theaters do when you walk in and you smell all that popcorn.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, we got to get a tub of popcorn when we go up in here.
Yeah. No,
Yep.
no, you're right. No, you're right.
Well, first person I thought about was Monica. She smell it, she gotta have it.
Yeah, she loves some popcorn.
But I mean, again, it just the true spirit of Christmas is not about the giving. You know what I'm saying? It is about family and stuff like that. I mean, it's Christmas has been Christmas, Valentine's Day. All of these things have been hijacked by corporate America, where they just make you feel that you gotta go get these gifts. Oh, I gotta go, and spend this money on my girl for Valentine's Day. Oh, I gotta go spend all this money for my mom on Mother's Day.
Or even Easter. Even Easter.
Well, but how about this one? If you treat your family, your wife, your mother right throughout the year, you're not giving them a gift just once a year. You know what I'm saying?
Mr. Davis, I've seen my mom's ex-husband. They would go visit for Mother's Day. They go visit her. Hi, Mom. But yet the whole year, except for Christmas, they didn't come by. The whole year, I'm like, wow, that's sad,
That's what I'm saying. How do you treat your loved ones throughout the rest of the year? That's what truly matters. I mean, you going out there and spending $1,000 on a pair of earrings or whatever. I mean, oh, okay. Well, what did you do the week before? What are you going to do the week after? What are you going to do a month from now? I mean, again, it's about treating people right throughout the year, and then
But even if gift giving is not the thing, you know what I mean? We might have to go on strike with the gift giving, make it personal gift giving, meaning write a letter, draw something, make a card, something like that. But just the protest Christmas because these billionaires. But that aside, I'm saying something more personalized, done by hand, put some thought into it, goes a long way. Even coming over, spending the time with your family, getting some hot chocolate, sitting around the bonfire, or sitting around the chimney, or just sitting around the table, having a great time. Having a great time go a long way when it comes to these holiday seasons. That's coming up.
I mean, myself personally, I can remember holidays, with my grandparents and all this other kind of stuff, more than I can remember any gift I ever got.
You know what I'm saying? Mr. Davis, is true, because when my grandma was still around, whenever we were young, there's 9 uncles and aunts, 7 are still surviving, but we will all go to my grandma's house, my cousins, the family. We all be bunched in there now that she's passed, and now we don't go. Nobody goes to her house anymore, and it's sad, It's memories.
Right. So, well,
become that anchor in your family, guys. If y'all listening, become that anchor. So everybody comes over, y'all get together and have some family time, because those are the precious moments when it comes to Christmas and Thanksgiving, is spending it with your family, with the loved ones that you love in your life.
all of that. And on that note, that sounds like a very good point to call it an end. So thank you for Coach D and Monica and anybody else that has popped in and commented.
Tisha said after party at her house. So yeah.
Tisha, she's a party animal. So, but again, thank everybody for coming in and doing what you do. We appreciate it. If you don't mind, please like, subscribe, follow, share, hit the notification bell, all that other kind of stuff. No matter where you're watching this, there's something you can do to help us, spread the word even further. So we'd appreciate all that. And George, Pedro, Brittany, I appreciate y'all so very, very much. And hey, it's the end of the day. It's Monday. Well, it's the end of our day right now. So hey, we'll see you guys again tomorrow morning. Same Blind United time, same Blind United channel. So we appreciate everybody. Everybody have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.